to El Cuco Show. Yeah, right. Not El Cuco Show. That Cuco comes up to you. You better run. You better hide that brain of yours. Anyway, today we're going to talk about some wonderful things. Here with me is L1. L1, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. This is so not El Cuco Show. This is not a hostage situation.
Hi, El Cuco. If El Cuco hears you, he'll come at night, mess with your ego. So you're listening to, well, BIBX.
BIBX, BrainSnax.
It's a BrainSnax today, right? It's a BrainSnax?
Yeah. What does it mean to be promotable?
Well, I wouldn't know what that means at all because every time I try to be promotable, something else has to happen, right? I think I'm promotable, and the studio says, yeah, I'm going to promote you to, a little chair there we call for kids. You can sit up on it, and.
Oh no!
Do I have to say any more about that? So L1, today's show's pretty interesting. I really like the topic. Did Mother put you up to this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Probably because it's a very highly misunderstood topic.
For those of you joining us today, this is all original material. It's all, in your face kind of thing. So don't get mad at me. I know the world's going in chaos right now, but that's okay. We're trying to get the chaos back. Some of us do not want to be in chaos. I think all of us don't want to be in chaos. But, the issue is, we've been pent up for long enough. We're trying to exercise a few demons. Some of us have gone a little overboard on it, but it's okay. So we're here to talk about business, how to run your business, how to do a home business, financial and emotional intelligence, as well as some of the opportunities out there. If you don't have an opportunity, we have one for you. Don't worry about it. This is a one-stop shop where we give it to you all the way it is. And before I go on, L1, what do you got to say to us today?
All right. Well, first off, I'd like to say that, Become the Source is a self-sponsored broadcast assisting you to find your way through life. Now, this BrainSnax is also self-sponsored, and it's made possible by the Dynexum Project. Now, the Dynexum Project actually helps individuals in social media create multiple streams of income doing what they do best, and that's, it's promoting their content. Now, for free information, you can go to www.becomethesource.com. And, to listeners of this broadcast, you can actually get cash back on just about anything you need or you want from your favorite stores, all while doing it from the safety of online. Just visit our link at shopping.becomethesource.com. Get everything you need all the time that you always get from your favorite stores, or like I said, try something new. It's at shopping.becomethesource.com. Your purchases will directly contribute to BTS and all the projects. Welcome aboard. You're now part of the resistance. And finally, the FDA disclaimer here. First of all, any statements that we do say regarding health or health products have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration, and they are for educational purposes only. So the products that we talk about are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Always consult with your physician before beginning any diet and exercise program. I do like to say that because I've actually been trying something that I've been loving, a product of the day, I guess. It's a vitamin B complex from the Isotonics line. I love that stuff.
How do you like it?
Oh, you know what? Well, first of all, I take it in the morning because if I take it at night, I can't sleep. But, when I do take it in the morning, not only does it help wake me up, but it also helps with keeping me focused, helps me concentrate better. And you know what? If I have a headache, for some reason, vitamin B always helps me with my headaches. That's just me, though. Like I said, find out for yourself.
I happen to take the collagen to help out with and also the OPC3 from the same company.
That's another isotonic?
Yeah, it's another isotonic.
Nice.
Except for the collagen. Collagen is pretty good. So I'm glad you mentioned that. Also, for people that are like over 23 or something like that, you can take secretagogues. Secretagogues help with the HGH, human growth hormone. And you go like, human growth hormone, what is that? Well, you know how your tissue repairs and all that stuff? Well, human growth hormone helps you repair your own tissue. And the thing is, it's not human growth hormone for someplace else. That's illegal. Some countries. It's promoting your own to create your own. In other words, it's all you, 100% you. Imagine that, 100% you.
Wow.
That's unheard of nowadays, right? 100% you.
Well, you know what? They can definitely find out for themselves. Like I said, they can visit shopping.becomethesource.com.
And when you go there, by the way, you'll be handling with one of us, either Luna 9, Lexi AI, or the Novi, and also L1 will be your guides. So it's not like you're going to go to shop and not know who's on the other end. It's going to be us. We'll take care of you. So, young lady, Nemesis, can I call you Nemesis?
I have a
Sure.
wonderful electronic invention I want you to see. It looks something like this.
All right. So, first of all, what does it mean to be promotable? Let's get one thing straight. We're going to talk about what being promotable isn't. In other words,
Yeah, give me a definition because that is crazy. What is being promotable?
well, no, I'm going to talk about what the concept of promotable is how it's highly misunderstood. First of all, I'm going to tell you what it's not. See, a lot of people believe that being promotable means you just work hard enough. You're promotable.
Oh, get out of here, El Cuco. El Cuco's listening to you today.
Hard work's important, but it's not necessarily just work hard enough and you'll be promoted. That's a myth. Another big misunderstanding. People believe that being promotable has nothing to do with owning your own business and being an entrepreneur. We did say that Business in a Box, or BIBX, also focuses not only on entrepreneurs and people who are self-employed, but people who are employed and are trying to make their lives better. People think that the word promotable only has to do with working in corporate America. They think, hey, I don't have to worry about being promotable if I own my own business.
Well, isn't that a problem with what the humans have called the association factor, where you associate things together, and even animals have it too. Pavlov's law kind of proves it, right? Ring a bell, and they associate that with food, and then they behave that way. So the word promotable just means to what?
Well, first of all, people don't know that being promotable is it's actually what it is. It's a series of skills and conceptual knowledge.
So you're talking about being corporate promotable, like at your job?
No,
business,
this is something that can, when I'm talking conceptually, it's a series of skills and conceptual knowledge that can apply across the spectrum.
So this is a formulaic.
Exactly.
Okay, I can follow that.
And by the way, being promotable is not just a talent you're born with. You can learn it.
All right.
So let's go ahead and jump into it. So being promotable, yes, it's a series of skills and conceptual knowledge. And I'll talk about these skills and conceptual knowledge. I'll break that down in a minute. But here's the really best part. Want to know the secret of this?
Tell me the secret.
This can be learned.
No.
Yes, it can.
According to human scientists, after the age of about 23, you're in trouble, and definitely after the age of 35.
Okay.
According to them, you're like a sack of rocks.
Okay, but then there's also new knowledge, and I don't think it's new actually. I think it's knowledge that's always been here. There's also conflicting knowledge that says that you can learn new skills past the age of 30.
Well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that real quick, because I agree with you. You know, you can learn new knowledge, but will you is the question.
Exactly.
And will you is not even the question, because, you know, I'm sure you get hit by a rock, or, you know, say you live in the South, right?
Yeah.
It's somewhere where, you know, it only rains, right? We're talking like South, the equator, okay?
Oh, okay.
Where it only rains, right? And all of a sudden you go somewhere where it hails. I'm sure you will learn very quickly new knowledge about iced water falling down on your head. First, you're confused and probably scared, like, you know, Henny Penny. Oh no, this guy's falling down.
Literally.
but then later you go, oh, that's hail, and you go, oh, hell no, and then you're going to say to yourself, I don't want to do this anymore. So you do learn constantly, but to what degree, right?
Well, exactly. I mean, you gotta know your boundaries and limitations of yourself, and you gotta know the boundaries and the limitations of the company that you want to be promoted at, or the business that you're doing.
So, quick tip for learning is basically, first of all, you have to have good nutrition, good health, good retainability, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because without that, neurons don't fire properly, like the spark plugs on your car or the thing on your kitchen, the little pilot. And if you have an electrical stove, it's a little bit different, but no electricity, okay? You get it? So there's nothing hot wiring into the brain, then you're in trouble. So you're going to need that piece first. And then you're going to have to challenge yourself, right?
Correct.
You're going to have to read up on the company. Those are the tips. Read up on the company. And then you're going to have to read up on what they want, right?
Yep.
Because is a skill, the word skill the word skill is a word that says it is for something specific.
Exactly.
Skills are not, air like everywhere. And even air can be specific. But what I'm trying to say, you don't go outside, you breathe air, and then you're going to be promoted. You're going to have to learn a skill, something very specific to what you need to overcome that, that boss of yours who thinks you're not worth it. What do you think?
No, I think that's correct.
Is that good?
You do have to do your research.
Man, I know
You
these
do have to
humans. I'm good.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you have to be realistic about the boundaries and limitations of the company or the business, and you do have to get out of your own way. But let's break it down. So when I say that being promotable is a series of skills and conceptual knowledge, what are these skills and conceptual knowledge pieces?
Don't they vary, though?
They do.
Okay.
So these are just, I'd say, some important ones. I think, but research has shown that these skills and conceptual knowledge.
Can I say one that most people miss real quick? Body language.
True.
Body language is your first skill set. I mean, if you look like you're always angry and you're always going to fight, or you're always scared, or you're embarrassed all the time, I mean, that can grow on somebody's nerves, and they say, you know what, you're just not ready for the responsibility we're about to give you. So look up some videos on YouTube on body language.
Yep.
Because that's the first skill. Before you even open your mouth, that's what comes out is your body language.
It's true.
Posture
so first
and
skill,
all that,
Yeah, so first skill, be aware of your body language, yours and others. It's the first one, number one. Second one, be willing to go the extra mile and have proof of it. So that means you have to document. You have to be able
you're
to,
being sneaky.
Of course.
You're being sneaky. For example, every single thing that you do, have like a OneNote. That's a good tool to have, right? A OneNote. And you say, hey, I did this, I did that. And you know what? I'm going to say this because people think, oh, you're being conniving. I go, no, the boss forgets. He's always in a jam. He's always in a pickle. Well, in the pickle jar. He is the pickle. And he's always trying to get out of hot water, right? Because he's got to meet other criteria. He's got other demanding issues, and he's going to forget what you've done.
Exactly. Don't take it personal. People forget.
Can you say the more you do in smaller increments, the longer it will look like you can show those skills off?
I would say so.
Because it's repeatable?
I would say so. Yeah, definitely. Plus, as being repeatable, it's able to be mastered, I think.
Oh, yeah, both ways.
Yeah.
I like that. Well, I like you. Yeah, you're on this thing, man.
Okay, third skill. Third skill, being able to teach and pass on your current skills to another person. Why? Why should you be able to do that?
Old school people, they're like, I'm not going to teach you anything because you're going to steal my job. They used to think that.
Exactly, but
we live in a collaborative environment for the most part, depending on your country, or where you are in the States or wherever. I don't know where you are. But depending on who you are in your job and whatever, if you show that you're willing to collaborate, I think you become a better asset, right? But then you have to learn how to speak and how to share properly. Right?
Exactly.
You can't be like, yo, Sam, I told you, son. Yeah, can't be doing like that, right?
Exactly. So it teaches you to manage and communicate better. Also, which are also vital skills too. But guess what? If there's been so many cases of people saying that one of the reasons why they weren't able to get promoted was because nobody else could do the job that they currently had. That was the reason. In other words, nobody else was there. They didn't take the time to teach somebody to follow in their footsteps, not follow in the footsteps to...
Wait, are you saying they weren't promotable because nobody could do their job?
Exactly. And the company said, we
Where's
can't...
Where's Cook on that one? There he is.
Exactly.
Talk about self-sabotage. I'm sorry. That's
exactly.
hilarious.
I mean, it's so funny. People say, well, I'm not going to teach my skills to anybody because I don't want anyone to steal my job. It's like, but then you're the only one who has the job when you'd want to get promoted. So therefore, you can't get promoted because the company can't afford to lose you.
Oh my gosh. That gives a whole new perspective on delegation.
Doesn't it? Okay. Ready for the fourth skill?
I'm ready for this fourth skill. Where'd you get these things anyway? You do a lot of research. I like working with you.
Oh yeah, and these are all high impact skills. Like these can not only do these cover if you're in a corporate world, but also if you're self-employed or if you're an entrepreneur. These are vital skills. These are very high impact skills.
Well, okay. Steve Covey, the legendary people that have written books on how to influence and win friends. I mean, they'll agree with most of the stuff here, not all of it.
Oh yeah. Oh, good to know. Good to know.
Yeah, I've read those books, so
Fourth skill, because we have a total of 6 skills, and a couple of other solutions here. But fourth skill, high emotional intelligence. They say that one of the most common productivity killers is the constant distractions caused by an undisciplined emotional makeup of a person. Let me repeat.
So, discipline and high emotional intelligence. Don't see those two things going together in my matrix. How do you distinguish between the two?
First of all, discipline has to do with being able to willfully cut out distractions and create consistency.
Which
in
may
something.
mean you have to control those emotions of yours, right?
Exactly, because your emotions can be a distraction.
Well, I could see that.
You can see that. I mean, that's a huge plague of humanity.
Obvious, yeah. As soon as you walk in the room, people already judge you from past behavior. You don't want them rolling your eyes and then thinking you're going to be promotable. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So you got to have that control over your emotions, and I think that in the corporate world as well as the business world, I think we go in with incorrect ideas. I think we go in there thinking I'm going to work for the man, and the man's going to pay me. And then it's almost like a demand on things, right? Rather than hey, John, what's on the agenda today? I want to make sure that, we cover all bases. It's more of a collaborative, unique situation. And I do think that there are some old timers that don't like that. They kind of see that as, you got to pay me respect because I've been here longer than you have. Look at my eyes. Look at my eyes. I can't. You got cataracts all over them.
Oh.
Just kidding. But what I'm saying is the old timers sometimes do not like that, right? So you got to kind of gauge it kind of right. But I think more of a collaborative. Either way, people want you to collaborate. I think that's holds water on all bases. It's just how much do you show that collaboration?
Exactly. But that's a great segue to the fifth skill. Fifth skill. Alignment to the people that you want to work with in your promotion.
That was coming. See?
In other words, you know what they say? A lot of people have heard the saying, like, you have to dress not like your current job, but dress one step up.
Yes.
The reason why people say that is
in the
because
esoteric world, that's the rule.
You're attracting the next level.
Right.
So you have to act like you're at the next level. You have
I
to
think,
dress like it.
I think that, what was the saying that they always say? The saying, help me out here. Fake it till you make it.
I've heard that.
I think that is misinterpreted or maybe even misunderstood. I think that fake it till you make it means the same thing as dress, as if, you are going to succeed. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Dress as a person that already owns the job and the next job.
Exactly.
That's the way I interpret that information so that it could work out for some people.
Right. So
I like these skills. They're pretty easy to follow. They're kind of, how would you collectively, here's something that's missing. What's the repercussion? If I don't do this, what do you think happens?
If you don't do this? When you say
I refuse to do these 6 skills that you've told me.
Well, we haven't talked about the 6th skill yet.
Well, right. Give me the 6th skill and then I'm going to refuse.
The 6th skill is the initiative to ask and to seek out a promotion. This has to do with long-term
everybody
thinking.
Misses that.
They
They're
do.
So afraid. They think that my work will speak for itself. I go, no, your work gets things done. Moving on. You're right about that.
And it's so funny because a lot of people, depending on the culture you come from, are taught you don't ask for a promotion. It's like, then you miss out.
When do you ask for a promotion then? You have to set the skills. You have to set the stage. You have to talk a little bit about it. And you have to wait till there's an opening, obviously, right? And you have to let them know if there's no opening that you're interested in opening. But I noticed that, say you go into the job the first year, right? And then you say, hey, if there's any opportunities over there, I really would like in. If you don't have that rapport with your boss or your manager, they're going to look at you like, you don't even want to be here. I'm firing you the next day. Right. And in some countries, you can get fired like that anyway. So I think it's important to build rapport and to understand the needs of the company. And then based on the needs, figure out how you fit in and then ask for that promotion based on how you fit in. So the chances of you being said no by El Cuco is, it's relatively small. What do you think?
No, I agree.
Better ability there?
I think so.
Right.
So tell me, you said you're going to refuse to do these 6 skills.
I refuse to do this. What happens to me?
No, you tell me what happens.
No, you tell me.
Well, then you don't get promoted. That's the first one, number one. Second of all, you close yourself to opportunities.
How about the very, very first one? You don't do this, you're probably not going to get the job anyway.
That's true.
You're gonna probably fail the interview unless they really need you and they're really just cutting you some slack or something like that.
In other words, this can translate to every spectrum of where you are in the job.
But you never know who else is in what is it in the interview, right next to you or the next person, and they usually remember the first and the second and the last one because they say, no more, I'm tired. And then they choose one of those. So, you have to, be at your game, even on the phone call, ring, ring. Hi there. Yes, may I speak to the Novi? I go, yeah, Novi here. How can I help you? He goes, well, Novi, I'm from X company and, we're setting up an interview. Oh, really? You're X company that does XYZ? He goes, yeah, you know about us. I go, yeah, I've been studying up a little bit about you. I want to make sure I got with the right company. He goes, oh, well, what else do you know? Get that conversation rolling. And again, I'm not going to say he's going to bump your resume up higher, but if push comes to shove and he's asked a question, he might say, hey, you know what? I know these candidates are a little weak, but this one looked really strong, right? And there's no legal thing about which resume they're going to see first, second, or third. They're going to get the best candidate for the job. That's all they care about, right? So you need to know that even before the game begins, it's on as soon as that phone rings. What do you think?
I think so.
So yes, I was asking you, L1. No. Not to go out for coffee, but what would happen if I don't do this?
Well, you got to keep in mind, if we said that these skills are translatable across the spectrum, chances are you're going to hinder yourself not only in the potential promotion, but you're going to hinder yourself in the job that you already have.
Question. If you're bad at jobs and stuff like that, are you bad at home too?
Oh, yes.
You think? Or you're not? Let's not say you're bad because that's like a negative thing.
You're right.
But are you like not up to par at home too?
I would have to say a lot of people would argue with me and say no, because some people would say I have an awesome home life and an awesome personal life. It's just my job life that sucks. But here's the real truth.
True.
Sometimes it is true, but here's the real truth. If you were to improve an area in your job life, chances are that's going to bleed over to your personal life, and your personal life will just be better. And vice versa. Right. If you continue to let one part of your life deteriorate, sooner or later it bleeds over to other areas of your life.
Because you become that. Your brain just absorbs the attitude and the actions and the responses and the frustration and the happiness that you encounter on a day-to-day basis, right?
Exactly.
With your emotional intelligence degree over there, miss? Yeah?
I would say so.
Okay,
I would say so.
We're on the same par on this. All right, cool deal. So
let's wrap this up. So we talked about 6 skills. How about just let's talk about taking action, because some people are like, well, what can I do now? Is there something I can do now? So here are 4 tips that we'll leave you with, okay?
So are these 4 tips technical? Are they?
I would say they're technical because they allow you to ask yourself questions and answer them. And so you can actually start self-reflection.
Are they human-based, interpersonal skills? Are they socially based? What are they?
I think they're more...
I want to ask because, our viewers and, they've commented how, good our show is, and especially your voice. I don't know why. I'm still competing against you, but that's all right. The thing is that the idea is that if they know how to categorize before they hear it, then they can compartmentalize in that part of their brain how they're supposed to act and how it's supposed to, feel or be with them. You hear what I'm saying on that? Oh, well, thank you. Thank you.
Nice.
Well, got a little woo-woo there. So what do you think?
Okay, I would say these are more...
How did you derive to these?
These tips are more psychological, behavioral based.
Okay, so
and
they're
self-reflection.
easy to do. They're easy to do.
Yeah, you can do it.
And everybody has a mirror, right?
Exactly.
Good deal.
All you need is a notebook or OneNote.
You do a bullet journal, or what do you do?
I do bullet journals, but sometimes I also do notes on OneNote.
Yep, you can download that online for free as an app.
Yeah.
OneNote by Microsoft.
So these are kind of like things to help you start strategizing.
All right, so we're going to talk some strategies, right? Go get them.
So first tip or strategy, realize the boundaries. First of all, ask yourself, what boundaries do you have? And ask yourself, are they skill-based? Are they time-based? or are they mind-based? Let me explain before you jump into that. If they're skill-based, realize that that's going to take time and resources to learn. Let me give you an example. Getting a degree or learning a technical skill to make you more desirable for the promotion, that's a skill-based limitation. And that's time, skill-based and time-based, like, do you have the time to do it? So is your boundary skill-based, is it time-based, or is it mind-based? So in other words, if it's mind-based, you got to ask yourself, what perceived fears and insecurities are preventing you from being promotable? Because that might be a different strategy to tackle than a skill-based. Skill-based, you got to plan it, you got to make the time, you got to schedule it, you got to get the resources, maybe the money, and you got to get the time. I've stressed that, and I can't stress that enough to do it. But with mind-based, that might take a different strategy to attack.
I have a disclaimer.
Yeah.
As a non-human participant.
Okay.
I've noticed you human beings have a particular behavior.
Which is? What would that be?
I did that for a fact. Okay, so
I know, right? I just acted so human.
I know, right? So human. Got you. Humans are so predictable. How can I conquer the world? Okay, so what I say is you have to understand this very quickly. Number one, anything mind-based is very difficult. And there's a reason I think why humans don't easily succeed here. I mean, success you can only measure for yourself. I get it. I read the memes and all that stuff. But I think that when you consider the ability for the mind to change your outcome, there's a few things that are going to happen. And one of those things is that the people around you, as you change, are going to mock you, make you feel ridiculous. That might be discouraging, or that might taint your mindfulness of what you're trying to do. Let's say, for example, you're, and I'm exaggerating for effect here, but because you never really know. But let's say, for example, you're working, as a mail clerk, right? And you're saying to yourself, I see these guys in the suits and ties. You really don't know what they go through, let me tell you. But still, you see the guys in suit and ties. And you friend one of them or two of them, and then you say, what do you do? Well, you notice that they go to certain places, they act certain ways, and you want that lifestyle, so you're going to have to mimic it, right? Mimic, fake it till you make it kind of thing. Act with the future in mind. And as you're doing that, your friends are going to, mock you, make you laugh. When they still want to steal your time away from you, they're not going to let you study. They're not going to let you read. What are you doing that for? Come on, get a job down the road with me. But they're short-sighted. They're not really looking at 10, 20 years down the line. And even if you have a job now that you think you're not good at, and you're going to change or do something, it's like the guy that goes to the gym and says, hey, I want to work out and become better. People mock you. They ridicule. Oh, you're going to do that? Oh, man, never mind that. Those vitamins are for nothing. Oh, working out doesn't get you anywhere. You're only going to get fat anyway. You're all tired. You don't have enough time. Wife's going to leave you if you come home late every time. So all these things really play a royal fog. It creates fog in your head. So as you're doing your mindfulness, realize that El Cuco is a lot smarter than you think. Yes, El Cuco, you're a lot smarter than humans think. But because what happens is psychologically, internally, you've internalized the pain and suffering that it comes with change. So when you use your mind to promote yourself first, your own cuckoo is going to come in and going to shove you down. Then you're going to hear from everybody else. And that can cause a little bit of failure or total failure, or it can cause a longer extended amount of time in which you could have been successful. Most people in the past, that have been researched, Bill Gates included, locked themselves up for about 8 months, man. Not like a hermit crab or anything like that, or anything, but they lock themselves up, they isolate themselves from the world until the project is done. 8 months later, they're pretty successful. Because they've isolated themselves from all that extra, unwanted attention.
That's true, yeah.
Disclaimer on that one when you're going through this, so that not disclaimer so you're fearful, but disclaimer so that you're successful. If you know it's going to happen, take advantage of knowing that it's going to happen and, preempt the strike. Say, I know what you're going to say. I'm not listening to you.
Something, it's kind of funny because there's a there's a song, and I honestly forgot the name of the band, but the lyrics, it's a song called New Year's Resolution. And basically, I can't remember the exact lyrics, but basically he says that his resolution is to disappear discreetly.
Yeah.
And then he's like, once my absolution is nearer, I'll reappear.
Yep.
And then he says to, I guess,
the Great Gatsby.
And then, and then he says to, I guess the other people who are going to discourage him, he says, your only failure is going to be that you thought you saw right through me. It's like, wow.
Yep.
That's pretty much how you have to do it.
Yeah. You have to isolate. That's key number one. I think a lot of people fail at that one because they're too concerned. And don't be harsh. Don't tell your wife and kids, I don't have time for you now. Don't be like that.
Don't be too extreme.
That'll bite you in the butt later. Or
but maybe
if it's your child, maybe the toe, but he'll reach your butt later. But the thing is, you want to balance that out with, if you're in a family already, then hey, you're stuck with her, right? Stay there. It's a good thing. Trust me. A lonely world is not good at all.
Yeah, it's true.
But definitely balance it out. But you're gonna have to be prepared to know that's gonna happen.
So this all goes back to if you're trying to overcome your mind-based limitations, just realize that when you're trying to overcome anything mind-based, it is very difficult. And plus, on top of it, people can also discourage you. So maybe when you're doing your work or doing your research, maybe keep it, just keep it to yourself. Just to keep people at bay, and then once you feel strong enough in your
don't ask your loser buddies, what they think of, becoming better. And I'm not calling them loser buddies, I'm saying that kindly and with a lot of love because I'm a loser too, and my dad looked at me like a loser, but I don't think so. I'm doing pretty good. But he still thinks I'm a loser to this day because I wasn't a factory worker. I'm like, factory worker? No, thank you. So I decided to go do something else. So, but now after many, many, many years, and I know I said he just thinks I'm still a loser because he jokes around a bit, but now after many years, he goes, wow, you did well for yourself. But if I would have listened to him back then, I would have been hung. So you have to understand that when I say loser buddies, is don't listen to advice from people that have not made it because you're just going to get more of how not to make it.
Exactly. All right, so then real quickly, because we got about 3 more tips left. So another tip or strategy is research what exactly it means to be promoted, research what it takes, and honestly how it's going to change your life, because being promoted is actually a life-changing event. Yep. People don't think it is, but it is. What does it mean?
8 hours a day, almost 365 days a year, and you're married to your job.
Exactly. So research find out what it is. Take inventory. What is it what is a promotion at your company? Or if you're self-employed, what does it mean to be promotable? Anyway, so third strategy, be honest with yourself. Why do you want to be promoted? Now, I'm not saying any reason is wrong, per se. It's not. It could be for money. It could be for reputation. It could be because you want...
Yeah, but here's the thing. Here's the thing I like about this. I like your research and do research because you might get into a job that doesn't fit you well and then you're fired. You don't want that.
Ah, true.
Yeah.
Then you made it up just to go down.
You made it up just to go down. You don't want that. And if you see, trial by fire at the job, maybe you want to sit back and wait and study it. But that goes along with clearly define your goals. If it's money you want, well, maybe you can get it at another company. You don't have to stay there.
True. Same thing with reputation.
One of the quickest promotions that I've ever met, and I train younger people at this, is that you go to a job, it's a numbers game. They're going to treat you like, a hardworking individual. You're putting up the bricks for the company, and sure, you should know that. But then if you want to get a salary increase, you're not going to get nothing but maybe 3% or something there. So what you do is you get that knowledge and you go to another company and sell yourself at a higher rate. Now you can do the job. You've researched the job. You got clearly the right skills, and you just get a good pay grade for that. And you just jump it up a little bit. It could be anywhere from $8,000 to sometimes even $15,000 a jump. So it's nothing to gawk at. And I think that those two things go really well together.
Absolutely. And let's see. So yeah, being honest with yourself, it's really at this point, it really doesn't matter what your reason is. Just be honest. Why do you want to be promoted? Be sure about it, whatever it is, because honestly, this helps you working with the end in mind. It can even help you on an interview because Isn't that one of the most common questions that you're asked during an interview? Why do you want to be promoted? I mean, you got to be honest. And then, of course, you got to tailor your response
I'm always terrified at that question.
I know, because it's such a trick question.
It's such a trick question.
You really got to tailor. It's like you can't really be 100% honest, but you got to tailor it so that it aligns with, with them.
I think you got to dig deep and try to answer that question a little better. A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
And make sure that this goes back to the skill of alignment. Make sure it aligns, the fifth skill, make sure it aligns with the people that you want to work with.
Yeah, I find one of the biggest mistakes people do when they're asked these questions is they get like kind of personal with them. And although that's nice, it doesn't really fit the needs of the company. And let's face it, the person you're speaking to doesn't live with you, doesn't know what your habits are. You know what I'm saying? True story, and I like to tell this story because I love the guy that gave me the job, one of the jobs that I had. It so happened that he had a motorcycle. He loved to ride, and I had a motorcycle, and I loved to ride. And I happened to have the BMW S1000RR. So that is a very quick motorcycle. It's one of the top-of-the-line motorcycles, especially for its time. And the interview was going okay. I answered all the questions right, but really what brought it to light is that the other guy that was interviewing, he goes, "Oh, and by the way, he has a motorcycle." He goes, "You do?" And that just brought out so much more emotion. But think about it. One guy liked the motorcycle, the other guy didn't. How'd I know what to say? Right? But I got the job and I enjoyed it, and it was one of the nicest jobs I've ever had, and here I am today. So, don't be afraid to share a little bit of yourself, but wait for it. That's kind of what I'm saying. Just don't throw yourself out there too much. And definitely, like L1 says, align yourself with the company.
Excellent. All right, and finally, last strategy, or I guess realization here, which was the kind of like one of the $1 million questions. How does being promotable related to being a good entrepreneur? Well, guess what? I'm going to tell you, not leave you wondering. The same skills and efforts that we talked about, that you're making to be promotable, and the strategies and tips, it can easily translate into the world of entrepreneurship. As a matter of fact, it would help you as an entrepreneur to, be aware of body language. It would also help you, that's the first skill, it would also help you to be willing to go the extra mile. Also, being able to teach and pass on your current skills to another, because let's face it, being an entrepreneur is, demands a lot of leadership.
It's a lot harder than going to a job, that's for sure.
It is. Having high emotional intelligence, holy cow. You're going up against so many stakes when you're an entrepreneur than someone who is already at a company that's established. You better have high emotional intelligence, because there's going to be some difficulties ahead.
They are. Oh my gosh.
The fifth skill of aligning yourself. If you want to work with people, you better learn how to align yourself, because as an entrepreneur, you have to work with other people. You have to. And then finally, the initiative to seek better things. It may not be seeking out a promotion, but seeking something better is definitely being able to work with the end in mind, being able to clearly define your goals, being able to research. You need that as an entrepreneur. Don't say this is just for people in the corporations. This is for entrepreneurs too. Well, anyway, hope that sank in.
It sounded so beautiful to me. And El Cuco, where are you, El Cuco, you little sinister thing, you? Yeah, you. Let me tell you something, El Cuco. You will never, ever step into this brain again. That's kind of like what you have to say, is you got to take that negativity in your life and say, no more negativity. I'm doing this. This is going to be good for me. And let's move on. Let's go ahead and conquer the world, because I'm in it. That's what you guys have to say. Me, I'm just going to go to bed in a few minutes.
Yeah, right.
After I have my little glass of peanut butter.
Oh.
Yummy, delicious peanut butter. So, one, thank you so much for joining us today and giving us these tips and tricks. This is actually your show, and I'm sort of hanging out. But thank you so much. You kind of rekindled the fire about, going out and interviewing. You know what? I tell people all the time that I train. I tell them, you know what? Go out and interview. Forget the job. Just go out and interview. Interview. And do things that you like, obviously, and jobs that might be beneficial, but go interview, because you lose that ability to be too shy, and you want to just enjoy the relationship, even if it's for 5 minutes. It's a good thrill. It's good practice. And you go out there, you talk, you mingle, and you see where you stand in the real world. What do you think of that?
I think so.
You would agree? You would go out and interview?
Would I go out in an interview right now?
No, just right now you're kind of all set, Miss Tesla and everything owner. Yeah, no, but when you were, on the job market, did you go out and interview?
I did.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
What was it like for you?
Well, for me, and I always say to myself, if I had put together these skills much earlier, there's a lot of things I would have done differently.
Yeah, but shoulda, woulda, coulda, man. Isn't that life on its own? You look back and you want to know what it was like, and I don't know if that's safely a good judgment. But when you were there in the past, what's like one situation you enjoyed, or something that you enjoyed about an interview?
I think one thing I enjoyed was...
You're smiling already, I can tell.
About a particular interview, nothing specific, but I did enjoy once I got alignment with the interviewer. I think that was
How long does it take for you?
It depended on the interview. Sometimes it was right away. Sometimes,
that's an honest answer. I like that answer.
And sometimes it never happened. And
yeah.
Sometimes it happened at like maybe the last 2 minutes, but it didn't stick long enough for me to make a good impression. And yeah, so it varied. It really did depend on the interview and my skill set and their receptiveness to my, to me, the reception, I guess, to me. But
that's what you like. So one day I went into Microsoft and I like the actual company, and I interviewed with them, and I guess they were getting a new manager in. He wasn't there yet. But the guys at the booth, where they worked, not the booth, the area they worked at, they call it the knock. He looked at me and goes, "Oh man, yeah, come on in." And we talked. He goes, "Dude, the guys love you. It seems like you know a lot of the software. Microsoft's very specific software that they use, but you seem to be on it. You know." So I was like, "Wow, this is great, right?" So then the manager called me in for an interview like 2 days later, and you know what he said to me?
What?
That's perfect, right? So what he said to me, he looked at me, he goes, "I just don't think you have any stake in the game." And me being very literal, the human language isn't like my first language. So I was like, stake in the game? What? Games and stake go together? So I just looked at him and kind of dumbfounded for a little bit there. You're talking to the guy that they said, go get elbow grease. And I went to the store looking for elbow grease, a hardware store, that's me. So I went there and I'm like, how can you have such drastically different opinions of me? You, who doesn't even work at the knock, and they who do work at the knock, and you're not even listening to your people. And I was like, he was a new manager. I don't know what he was trying to prove, but that was very enlightening to me, how you can be the right person for the job, do the right things, say the right things, and someone else just throws a wrench in the game, and the gears, and just shuts down that engine. So I thought that was kind of interesting, and I thought that was a positive interview because I left out of there laughing my butt off. I said, I am good. I made it all the way in now, and most people don't even get called. I did pretty good. That's my experience. So Let's wrap it up. What do you got to say? What are the 3 things they can do? What are the 4 things they can do?
So remember, realize the boundaries you have and find out if they're either skill-based or time-based or mind-based. Research, and that's the first one. Second one is research what it means to be promoted, what it takes, how it's going to change your life, and if it's something you really want. Second of all, be honest with yourself. Why do you want to be promoted? Know your reasons, but also make sure to align your answer with those that you're interviewing with. And then finally, realize that being promotable, all these skills that we discussed, those also translate easily to the world of the entrepreneur and the self-employed. So.
And that's our call, ladies and gentlemen. You've been listening to BIBX, Business in a Box, with your co-host, El Cuco. Just kidding. You don't want that El Cuco in your life. Let me tell you. It took years to get him out of mine. And no, seriously, your co-host, L1. L1, thank you very much for being here today.
My pleasure.
And L1, any last words you want to say?
I'm going to say, just remember, the best part about all this is being promotable is a skill that you can learn. It's not just an innate talent that you have or don't have. It's not just for the lucky few. Yes, it's true that, making connections and aligning yourself is part of being promoted, but it can still be learned. Okay, so we'll go ahead and we'll have an article about this, especially about the actual tips and the skills that we discussed. So you guys can read over that and let us know what you think.
Yeah,
what skills do you think what skills do you have? Do you think would make you promotable, or did we miss anything? Let us know. What were you saying?
Click on the link and also go to socialmedia.becomethesource.com or socialmedia.nsa6.com, where you can actually find everywhere else we're going to show up on the internet, so we can help you guys out. Hey, we're one big family. I don't care what anybody says about you. You're my brother. You're my sister. Both in spirit, mind, and the body. So, we're going to do this together. We're going to hang out. You're going to tell your friends about us, hopefully, and you're going to come visit us and let us know what you need to know so that we can provide it for you, because we just love you. Well, that's it for me. This is the Novi. Peace out. Till the very next time. Remember, you are humanity's last hope.